There was resentment towards her. And here's why I said it was stupid. Because when she came into the WNBA, for 22 plus years, they had been flying commercial. They were begging for chartered flights.
And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry, based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does.
By saying this was the most successful women's tournament by the numbers, the most watched Elite Eight games, the most watched Final Four, which we're talking about millions of viewers.
They had for the lack of recognition. No, she just happened to be born white. That's it. Caitlin Clark hasn't spoken against anybody. She hasn't assisted in denying anybody else the privileges they deserve.
Caitlin Clark is building basketball courts for kids, while other WNBA stars are busy building their brands. 4 middle schools in Des Moines are getting brand new places to play thanks to Clark's foundation. But when's the last time you heard about Angel Reese or Aja Wilson doing something like this? This isn't just about putting up some hoops. Clark is creating spaces where kids can develop teamwork and communication skills they'll use for life. While everyone's focused on her crossovers and three-pointers, she's quietly revolutionizing what it means to be a WNBA star off the court. You ever wonder what WNBA stars do when they're not on the court? While some players are busy with photo shoots and brand deals, Caitlin Clark is literally building courts for kids who need them. That's right, not just signing basketballs or showing up for a quick photo op. She's creating spaces where the next generation can thrive. Let me break this down for you. The Caitlin Clark Foundation is partnering with Des Moines Public Schools.
I think she's tried to provide assistance. A rising tide lifts all boats. She's trying to be the rising tide that lifts the boats. And there were sisters resentful of her.
And then you look at Angel Reese. Stop it. Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up. On TikTok. He's put together a shitload of Angel Reese clips. And it'll say Angel Reese part 36.
History was being made left, right, and center. We all know what Caitlin Clark did. She put up the most points, the most assists, most threes in a title game, which was so impressive. But we also have to talk about what Angel Reese did. 34 double-doubles, the most in NCAA women's side.
Be resentful of the system. Be resentful of the folks, primarily the white folks, who basically disenfranchised y'all all of these years before she came along.
To build 4 brand new outdoor courts that'll feature both basketball and soccer areas. High, Callanan, Moulton, and Weeks Middle Schools are the lucky recipients. And honestly, it's about time these kids got something amazing like this. And the crazy part, almost nobody's talking about this incredible move. These aren't just basic courts with a hoop slapped on a pole. We're talking about full community spaces designed specifically to give kids somewhere safe to play and develop essential skills. The renderings look absolutely insane. They'll have the Caitlin Clark Foundation logo right in the center and completely transform these school grounds from basic blacktop to professional quality courts. You know what makes this even more special? Mary Crawford, who heads up Clark's foundation, made it crystal clear that these courts represent something bigger than just places to shoot hoops. According to Crawford, they're creating environments where kids can develop connection, foster teamwork, and improve communication. That's the difference between a celebrity photo op and actual community investment. Clark's thinking about the whole child, not just their jump shot. This isn't even Clark's first move in the community service game. While she was still at Iowa, before she even got her first WNBA paycheck, she was already helping kids with back-to-school supplies. Most college athletes are worried about their own gear and grades, but Clark was already looking outward, figuring out how to give back to families who needed it. Have you seen Clark at games? While some stars rush through autograph sessions or prioritize the VIPs.
In a season, that was ridiculous as well. But I think I start with that saying that this is good for the women's game. I mean, it takes some dogs to make that type of history, the history that I just articulated by the numbers.
And it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup. She misses, bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest shit. And my whole thing is this, dude. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe.
Who denied you the acclaim and the allure and the profits you richly deserved. But you don't take that out on Caitlin Clark. Not her.
And you don't really get to be a dog and get to that platform where you get to bring a national title, the first one back to LSU, without having that type of mentality, that chip on your shoulder. And I feel like we have to let these young women be unapologetically themselves.
Clark consistently makes sure the kids get her attention first. I've watched videos where she'll specifically seek out the younger fans, making sure they get that special moment while the adults wait their turn. That shows exactly where her priorities are. The next generation comes first. Now here's where things get interesting. We can all name the biggest WNBA stars right now. Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu. They're household names if you follow the W. But let me ask you this, can you name their foundations? Do you know what community work they're doing? For most of them, there's a strange silence when it comes to high-impact community initiatives like what Clark is doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure many players do charity work and make appearances, but there's a massive difference between showing up at a community center for 2 hours and literally building 4 courts that will serve thousands of kids for years to come. These courts are set to open later this year, providing essential community spaces in neighborhoods that desperately need them. Clark is revolutionizing what it means to be a WNBA star off the court, while many of her peers are focused on building their personal brands, getting those endorsement deals, and social media followers. Clark is building actual courts where kids can play, grow, and develop. One approach is about personal gain, the other is about community investment. The impact of these courts will extend far beyond basketball. Think about it. These are spaces where kids can escape screens, develop social skills, build confidence.
When black folks was marching during the civil rights era and fighting every battle they possibly could, they weren't dismissive, nor did they insist in denigrating the white people who marched with them.
It's like people go, well, you know, she averages the league in most rebounds and double-doubles. It's like, listen, if you throw up 85 attempts, you're eventually going to get 1 or 2.
We need to learn to embrace that side of the game because we don't discriminate when things like that happen on the other side, right? Both sides obviously did the whole I can't see you. You mentioned it, Molly. You know, we saw it with Haley Van Lith.
But it still seems like people are slow rolling their way to a form of progressive thinking that enables them to appreciate the Caitlin Clarks of the world instead of resenting her. Which means, as always, no matter how far we've come,
and just be kids. In an era where youth mental health issues are skyrocketing and physical activity is declining, Clark is creating literal safe spaces for development. When we talk about legacy in basketball, we're usually counting rings, points scored, or all-star appearances. But what Caitlin Clark is doing goes beyond all that. She's redefining what it means to be a superstar in this league. Like, imagine having the pressure of being the most hyped rookie ever and still making time to transform entire communities. That's different level stuff. You know what's wild? While everyone's obsessed with stat lines and highlight reels, Clark's building something that'll still be standing decades after her playing days are over. These aren't just courts, they're investments in kids' futures. The real MVPs don't just fill arenas, they fill needs in communities that everyone else overlooks. So next time someone tries to tell you who's the best in the W, ask them this: what are they doing when the cameras aren't rolling? Because Clark isn't waiting for someone else to step up. She's doing it now. The question isn't whether she'll change basketball. She already is. The question is whether the rest of the league will follow her lead or get left behind.